Well, today is a perfect day to remember that slushing through the winter ice, snow, and the salt can do a lot to our wardrobe. It leaves marks on our sweaters pill up as well. Our jackets can take quite a beating. Local 4 style editor John Jordan shows us how we can kind of revive our wardrobes. Now, John, you've got a bunch of do's and don'ts. Let's talk about sweaters. They keep us warm, but they can look pretty worn out by the time we hit the middle of the season.
Right. And I mean, there's like a basic, premise here. This is like one of my favorite sweaters, black wool. And, I often will throw a light scarf on inadvertently. Well, that just creates contrast and fuzz. So think about the way you're combining your scarf and your sweater.
Okay. Now, what about pilling?
Okay, so pilling is, the little teeny tiny balls that form on wool. And, the common logic is to take a lint brush. I'm not a big fan of lint brushes because they do sort of like rough up the surface and dislodge some of the fiber, which creates more pilling. So I'm more fond of like lint rollers like this, but to actually get rid of the pills, this is cool, Tati. This is a sweater shaver. You can sort of hear the buzz there. And it literally will take the pills off. You just have to sort of make circular motions. And, it's great to live in the 21st century, right?
It is. I have one of those, and it is pretty amazing. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's talk about our shoes, John. They take such a beating. What do you do when they get wet, especially like leather shoes?
Okay, so the first thing that you don't do is you don't dry your leather and suede shoes over a furnace vent, okay? That will, ruin the leather. It will make them curl up. It's not a good idea. The idea that really works is to put microfiber cloths, because they will absorb dampness, put it in a well-ventilated area, or you could invest in a cedar shoe tree. That's actually what cedar shoe trees are for. They're meant to absorb moisture while they maintain the shape of your shoe.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about this because I've been dealing with this quite a bit. What about those pesky salt stains that show up?
Okay, so we probably all heard that, you just use vinegar and that gets rid of salt stains. And I've tried that, too. It's like I just douse the, shoe, the affected shoe with vinegar. It's much more involved than that. Really what you want to do is brush the excess dirt and grime off first. Then you're going to take like a diluted shampoo and a microfiber cloth, or if you're dealing with black or dark surfaces, I recommend a dark washcloth because then you won't leave residue. Okay. Then you'll use another washcloth that's dampened with some of the white vinegar, okay? Then you're going to use some conditioner. And it's a process, but you have to commit to it or you're going to ruin your shoes.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But now let's talk about this. What about suede? So it's something that you typically think is a no-no to wear in the winter. Like I've got some suede boots I want to bust out, but I'm just scared that I'm going to ruin them.
And rightfully so. So case in point, I had to have these shoes, okay? Think about a suede shoe, especially a light one or a colored one like this. Think of it as a toddler, because that's how much care suede actually requires. Now, there is synthetic suede that makes the process a little bit easier, but you basically follow the same procedure to remediate the salt stain as you would with leather. But again, you have to be so much more careful, Tati, as you well know. And there are some tricks like, if you are removing a stain from suede, you run the risk of discoloring it. So you're taking the stain out, but you're taking some of the color out. But there's all kinds of tricks you can use, like on black suede, for instance. You could use a little magic marker or a big one, as is the case, to touch up. Cosmetics like lipstick on a toothbrush, if it's the right shade of burgundy. There are all kinds of tricks to keep your suede looking good. But you have to treat it like it's, a problem child.
Yes, and take care of it. Take your time. Well, these are great ideas to revive that winter wardrobe, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you.